released book, An Inconvenient Minority, says the success of Asian Americans debunks critical race theory. Joining me to discuss, Kenny Xu, who is also the president of the advocacy group Color Us United. Kenny, good morning to you. You have such an interesting perspective on critical race theory. So let's start there. When you hear people say America is systemically racist against people of color, what goes through your mind?
I look at the experience of Asian Americans as a journalist and investigator. Asian Americans have historically not needed politics or needed to present themselves as a victim group to succeed. You know, they study twice as many hours as the average American. They have more stable two-parent family structures. They have lower rates of crime, and they do well in this country despite being a minority, despite being historically discriminated against. So they're an inconvenient minority, and that's what I have to write about in my book.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think you make an excellent point, and thank God we are finally at a place in this country where the color of your skin doesn't matter. If you have a good resume, if you have a solid work ethic, you can achieve whatever you want in this country. But a lot of college campuses aren't teaching that. So take a listen to something that happened on Penn State recently, Penn State University. He singled out two students. One is white, one is black. Take a listen to what he said.
We're going to pick the best person for the job. Dudes, we can't even go that far. We would pick the white guy. This is only one study of many, many, many studies in which we've controlled for everything, yet we're still going to pick this guy over this guy.
Yeah, so I'm not sure that you could see that, but you heard it. And what he was saying is that we're going to pick, as a society, we're going to pick the white guy over the black guy. So what do you think that does to people who feel victimized because of the color of their skin?
You know, this is something that Asian Americans need to fight for, and ordinary Americans need to fight for, because we should not be treated on the basis of the color of our skin for any reason. Yeah. Even if Harvard says we need, more diversity, that's not a reason to discriminate against a certain race. And, Asian Americans have never needed politics to advance in our country today, but this might be the time when they have to come out of the woodwork and start acting politically, because their rights to be treated as an equal in American society are being threatened, and so are the rights of everybody who wants to achieve the American dream.
Yeah, so how do you think we got here, Kenny? Because if you do listen to what's going on in classrooms or watch some other news networks, all you will hear is that America is systemically racist, and if you are black or Hispanic, the deck is stacked against you. So how do you think we got here? Is this political?
I think it's absolutely political. I mean, you have to look at identity politics and how you can farm votes and make careers out of fixating on race. As president of the group Color Us United, we do a lot of advocacy regarding this, and you realize that, only 29% of Americans actually think their race is important or very important to them, and yet 85% of Americans think that this country is racially divided. How is that possible, except that our leaders are trying to divide us for their own personal gain? The head of UC Berkeley's Diversity and Inclusion makes $450,000 a year. Consultancies can make $1,500 an hour, as I penned in the Wall Street Journal recently, just for teaching this separatist ethnic studies version of American history. It is very sad, but it does make careers.
Yeah, it certainly does, and it's a big business, unfortunately. Kenny, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you.